We are now down to 4 races to go until we crown a champion here in the BodyArmor LYTE Series East. But only 2 of those races will be standalone events, and this is one of them here today at the Richmond Raceway, leading up to the 29th race of the season in the Wall Cup Series this Saturday. Here on this Thursday evening, we're at the Richmond Raceway for 38 laps of action. Going to be a fun little short track race with these LYTE Series drivers as we run the Richmond 150, race 12 of the season in the BodyArmor LYTE Series East. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Richmond Raceway. Got ourselves a nice weekend of racing here at Richmond, and it actually started last night with the Sprint Series from the Richmond Raceway. Tonight we got the LYTE Series, tomorrow we got IndyCar, and then Saturday we got a big race in the Wall Cup Series after what happened to Watkins Glen over there. Duncan Ward now has a 20-point lead going into that one, but over here we got a much tighter championship battle at the moment. Alexander Rowe and Aaron Abel still going after it. They're only 5 points separate the 2 drivers, and they both start in the top 5 here today. And this is only a 38-lap race here at the Richmond Raceway, and it can be a bit of a difficult place to pass. It's one of the longer racetracks that we're actually going to have here this season. Well, I say that, we still got Gateway and New Hampshire left, and those are longer, but those are combination events. This is a LYTE Series East race only here at the Richmond Raceway. I'm joined alongside Andrew Miller once again. And Andrew, you're in the Wall Cup Series chase. What are you looking forward to in this race to possibly take over to the race on Saturday?
Well, you mentioned if passing is indeed going to be at a premium here, just kind of how important track position is going to be. We'll see if anybody starting toward the back there would be able to work their way to the front in such a short time. As you said, this is going to be a very short race. And if that looks like that's going to be a little more difficult, then that'll obviously mean that wherever the drivers for the Cup Series qualify will have a little bit more of an impact on where they finish. So I'll be watching for that, seeing if anyone is able to work their way forward, or if that's going to be a little bit easier said than done. Yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing what these 2 championship contenders are able to do with the 5 points separating them. I think it's going to be a fun one. Richmond's always a fun time. It's a pretty unique racetrack in its own right.
And we'll have to see how this ends up shaking out. It's going to be a much different race than what we saw at the Iowa Speedway a couple weeks ago with the BodyArmor LYTE Series West drivers. This racetrack a bit tighter in the circuit, and they're going to be going a little bit slower as well, which makes those moves a lot more critical to make than they were at Iowa. These guys were sliding around like crazy at Iowa. It's not going to quite be the case here today, so you got to make sure you're in position to make the moves, especially if you're deep in the field. No pit stops in this race, of course. There will be pit stops in the Wall Cup Series race on Saturday. That's going to make a huge difference in that race. But here today, 38 laps, straight racing, and it's going to be fun to see who gets it done. Here's how I line up in the championship standings. It's Aaron Abel, 5 points ahead of Alexander Rowe, and then it's 20 points behind there to Ryosuke Fujimoto. It's pretty much between Abel and Rowe for this championship, especially if they go 1-2 in this race, they're going to pull away even more. Then you got Gateway with the West Series, and you got the New Hampshire race with the BodyArmor Pro Series, and then the finale at Toledo at the beginning of October. So these guys are only going to race alongside each other one more time before we get to the finale there, and that will be that Toledo race, which is the finale. So those combination races have not been favorable to Alexander Rowe and Aaron Abel, and especially Alexander Rowe. He's only pointed in 6 of the 11 races so far this season, but he has won 4 times, and that's why he's in the position he is currently in the standings. But Aaron Abel has been the most consistent driver this season in the East Series. He's got an 8.18 average finishing position. Alexander Rowe's average finishing position is worse than Fujimoto and Anthony Hernandez's finishing positions this season. He's kind of struggled there, especially in the combination races, and we still got 2 of those remaining here in the season. It's Anthony Hernandez starting on the pole position, looking to get his 2nd win of the season here in the East Series, alongside Alexander Rowe, who's looking to get his 5th. And of course, Alexander Rowe trying to get that reserve for the Wall Cup Series next year by either winning this championship or the LYTE or the Sprint Series championship. We'll just have to see if he can, in fact, get the Sprint Series to go his way. And that's going to tight one. He's actually battling with Aaron Abel in the Sprint Series Championship as well, which is quite ironic. That's not a rating series like this one, but Abel and Rowe have been going after it in both series this season. You got Christian Vargas, Kyle Craven there in row number 2. Aaron Abel, Ryosi Fujimoto in row number 3. Joshua Neely and Josh Marzak in row number 4. Campbell Marsh, BB Ruiz in row 5. Chris Reynolds, Reggie Fulham in row 6. Dylan Matthews, Corey Case in row 7. Andrew Williams and Jared Martin in row 8. And then our Pro Series drivers got Sergio Alonso in the 23. Jack Haas in the 57. And LJ Cimetto. This is a home race for him, LJ Cimetto. They're in the number 94 from the Pro Series. So 19 drivers starting here today at the Richmond Raceway. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here in the Richmond 150. And we're ready for this 38-lap race here from Richmond Raceway here on this Thursday evening. Andrew, Alex Monroe has been the dominant driver this season in terms of the race victories. Does he get win number 5, or will be somebody else going to victory lane here at the Richmond Raceway?
Well, as much as I do like Rowe's chances, I'm honestly going to that pole sitter, 73. That's a great starting position, obviously. And he's been showing great speed in a lot of the races that I've been able to call with you. So we'll see if Hernandez can go ahead and get her done tonight.
We'll just have to see how this race ends up shaking out. We may see some yellows. We've seen a lot of yellows early on in these LYTE Series races this season. So let's see if we get another one here in just a couple of laps. Here we go. Green flag in the air. And we're underway in the other Commonwealth. What a jump out of Alexander Rowe from the outside lane. And that's not what this field wants to see. Alexander Rowe led every single lap at Nashville Fairgrounds earlier this season. And he's in a position to possibly do the same here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. Great jump forward from the outside. Anthony Hernandez in second. Aaron Abel trying to mitigate the amount of points that Alexander Rowe could gain on the way they currently run. And Aaron Abel would have a 1-point lead going into our next race at Gateway. So Aaron Abel trying to close up as close as he can to that 40 machine, but Alexander Rowe going to start pulling away. The last individual race for the E-Series was Thunder Road. He also dominated that one as well, and that's what Alex Rowe has done all season here in the E-Series. Some good battling going on back here. Christian Vargas trying to make a move there on Aaron Abel. You got Kyle Craven there as well. Ryosi Fujimoto, Josh Mealy, Campbell Marsh. Side by side between Chris Reynolds and Josh Marzak, and that is around the 9th, 10th position. And Alexander Rowe now nearly a half-second lead here at the Richmond Raceway.
And you're asking me like kind of what I'm looking for that'll could translate to the Cup race. That is good to know. If the outside lane can get a jump like that, don't know if that's just Rowe just timing it perfectly, or if maybe the outside on the initial start is going to be the place to be. That could be something to note heading into the Cup races. Here we go with Craven trying to get underneath Vargas.
He's 7th in the standings here in the E-Series. Vargas is 12th. Aaron Abel's all over the back bumper. He's going to make a move to the inside of Anthony Hernandez. And if there's anyone that can beat Alexander Rowe in this race, it is Aaron Abel in a 97 machine. And we'll have to see if he can close in. We'll have to see if we end up with a wreck in this race as well, because that's also possible. That LJ Cimetto in the 94, finding his way inside the top 10 already. He started in the last position there in 19th. Made up 9 positions since the start of this race. That's more than a position a lap, which is very strong for a racetrack such as this. Good to see LJ Cimetto have a good run. It's not been a good season for him in either the Pro Series or the Cup Series this year. Josh Manili trying to make a move there on Campbell Marsh. Still side by side here between Craven and Vargas for 4th. And Aaron Abel going to try to close in on his championship rival of Alexander Rowe. He did close in that lap, and we'll have to see if this 97 might be faster here tonight.
You're only lap 8, so still gotta keep these tires under you. I always preface that, trying to keep the tires under you at most of these tracks. This is no exception. Easy to overdrive it, and the next thing you know, you're gonna start to fade back. Abel's just got to pace himself. I think did lose a 10th there. So hopefully just pacing himself. Maybe we'll have something for the 40, but right now Alexander Rowe in the league of his own. A lot of the races that I've called with you here in either East or West have seen someone really dominating.
Yeah, it's Alexander Rowe here in the East Series. It's Ryan Durrani over in the West Series, but neither of those two drivers have won a combination race yet in the showdown, so we'll see how that goes about 3 weeks from now at Gateway, when we head there for the showdown finale. But Alex Monroe now nearly a second lead on Aaron Abel here at the Richmond Raceway. And no guaranteed caution, no pit stops in this race. Looking pretty good once again for Alex Monroe. And you know what the ironic thing is? This would be his 5th win of the season. He would still not be the points leader in the series because Aaron Abel would only lose 3 points. It'd be a 2-point gap going in the Gateway. And Aaron Abel still has a very good chance of this East Series championship, even though Alex Monroe has dominated the East specific races. It's been on those showdown races on the Pro Series side, especially at Watkins Glen. Aaron Abel gained a lot of points on Alex Monroe, who did not have a good race at Watkins Glen. And Aaron Abel, even though he is slipping back right here, still very much in control of this championship going into our next race. Kyle Craven is 4th, and you got Christian Vargas with a great run. Ryosuke Fujimoto in 6th. Campbell March, Jack Haas now up to the 8th position, so Pro Series driver making some moves as well. And we'll have to see if any of these Pro Series drivers have anything for Alex Monroe in this race. As we're on lap 13 right now, Jack Haas has made it up halfway through the field in that 57 machine. LJ Cimento there in 9th, and then Joshua Neely with the last point at the current moment. All the way down to Corey Case there in the number 8 machine, who's currently in the last position. And Aaron Abel looks like he closed in just a little bit that last lap, so we'll see. Tire wear will still be a factor in this race, and Alex Monroe's got to be careful not to use up the stuff too much, and Aaron Abel might be trying to find a little bit of pace here on this 40 machine.
And even though that lap was pretty even there, but no, yeah, to your point about Alexander Rowe, even if he wins this and if they finish as they run, still would not have the point lead, and that's just down to that 3-position difference in their average finish this season, and with Aaron Abel being that 8.1 and Alexander Rowe an 11.4 average finish, that's the difference. I mean, you can win all you want, but you got to be at least pretty consistent. If you don't have that, then all you're doing is either winning or wrecking. You're not going to have too much to show for that. So it's like 2 different ways to the top that these guys have had. Rowe with the wins and Abel with the consistency.
Jack Haas making a move here on Ryosuke Fujimoto. Some more movement back here. Jared Hart trying to make a move on Andrew Williams in the 99 machine. Jack Haas can move up another position right there. I don't think he's going to have enough time unless we get a yellow flag in this race to really close up to the race leaders. But if we were to get a yellow, these Pro Series drivers might be someone to watch out for. The only thing is these guys are so spread out at this point. Doubt that we're going to see anything of a yellow take place. Going to be about halfway through this race next time by here at Richmond. Alex Monroe has led every lap so far, and Aaron Abel is closing back in just a little bit. So we'll see if this 97 can get up to him. Alex Monroe, when we were at Thunder Road, and that was a quarter-mile racetrack, won that race by over 3 seconds, which for a quarter-mile racetrack is an absurd amount. Not an uncommon sight to see that type of lead that we got right now, about 1.3 seconds here, but you can still just tell that Alex Monroe is just locked in here in this E-Series. It's got to be frustrating, though, to win all these races and still not be the points leader after all that he's done. And he has not done well in the combination races, so you got Gateway, you got New Hampshire coming up. We'll have to see how Alex Monroe does being in the back of the field. He's done really well in the clean air in these E-Series races. These combination races have hurt him in terms of this championship. The good thing for Alex Monroe, the finale is an East only. And those guys there at Toledo, he could have an advantage in that one once we get down to it. Aaron Abel still holding on, trying to get as many points as he can. It'd be 12 points for Alex Monroe and 9 points for Aaron Abel, the way they currently run. And Anthony Hernandez still in 3rd. Kyle Craven and Christian Vargas battling pretty hard. And this is one of those races you kind of settle into your position. You can make the move, of course. You got a lot of side-by-side battling, but it takes a while to wind up the guy ahead of you. And something we're going to see in the race on Saturday in the Wall Wall Cup Series. It get very interesting once we get to that Southern States 400 on Saturday.
Hey, just as long as in the Cup race, I don't get any side damage.
Yes, you do not want that. You do not want that at Watkins Glen race. And hey, congratulations to West Series driver Trey Wright for that one. What a wild turn of events that was. That was completely unexpected on Saturday, and a pleasant surprise there. See Appalachian Motorsports go to victory lane. Of course, we got qualifying tomorrow for the Wall Cup Series, and that will determine the starting lineup, of course, for Saturday's race. Where will Duncan Ward, where will Daniel Paulus Jr. be? Where will Isaac Nichols be? Nichols is still very much a part of that championship if he can close in. And you know what? Aaron Abel's still very much a part of this race if he can close in, and he is closing in. He's brought it down to a second, and it was 1.4 seconds not too long ago. Aaron Abel might have saved up his stuff just enough to have an opportunity to possibly steal this win. He got the win, I believe it was Pikes Peak, which is a similar... No, he wasn't at Pikes Peak. What am I kidding? That's the West Series. You probably don't know, Andrew. I actually genuinely forget where Aaron Abel got his race victory this season. Isn't that bad?
I'm no better.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But he does have a win this season. And he would love to beat Alex Monroe here at Richmond because that would really give him an opportunity to win this championship in the E-Series. Racing Motorsports owner. I know he's looking forward to next week at Daytona in the Wall Cup Series. That is a place that Racing Motorsports has had a lot of success. And you know what? He's got a chance here. Down to 0.7 of a second right there with 11 laps to go here at the Richmond Raceway.
Man, he's coming to life. As I said, you save those tires, you're going to have something at the end. And that gap, yeah, is visually closing on the ticker and visually closing on the track. That time was about the same. But 10 laps to go. That definitely is enough time to get up to him. But, boy, as we've seen, actually trying to get the nose down there is going to be a whole nother beast.
Well, if he's got a faster car, he's got an opportunity, and it does seem like Alex Monroe's slipping up just a little bit. The thing is, time is not on Aaron Abel's side right here. 9 laps to go. It's now down to 0.5 second, so he's closed up nearly an entire second, and he's really ripping those corners a lot tighter than that 40 machine ahead of him. And Alex Monroe losing this lead, and Aaron Abel closing in fast. We may have ourselves a battle for this win here in the last 8 laps in the Richmond 150. Oh boy, it's a lot closer now. 0.3 of a second for the race lead here. And Aaron Abel looking really quick in that 97. Looking at Nathan Staple in a race victory as a race owner.
I'd love to see that, but ain't it just the way that these two became 1-2 on the racetrack, and now they are possibly going to be doing battle for this race win here. And that's just fitting, and that shows how dominant these two have been. Oh, he slid up the track a little bit there. That's going to cost him a couple car lengths.
It looked like dirty air. You'll see that a lot.
Oh, don't remind me of that.
In the Cup race, in the real-life Cup race. Hey, our race is going to be better. We don't have dirty air, even though we use the next-gen car. Slipping back just a little bit, that did not help him at all, but he still has a chance. And a good close up there for him that time around. Next time by, it's going to be 5 laps to go here in Richmond for Alexander Rowe and the 40 machine. But Aaron Abel's got a chance here at this race victory. They got 3 seconds on Anthony Hernandez. Campbell Marsh is up to 5th. Jack Haas up to 6th. Samedo making a move on Fujimoto there. That is for the 7th position. Last point right now is Andrew Williams in the number 99. Back up to the front. And Aaron Abel trying to close up to the back bumper of Alex in a row for this race win. He's got an opportunity, but time is running out. And it's 4 laps to go here at Richmond for Alexander Rowe and Railfan Motorsports.
I know we just made the joke about dirty air, but I mean, that could be playing into this now that the tires are maybe just starting to get a little hotter on that 97. Although, what does it say? It's like a recoil here.
Yeah.
The gap closes and it grows, and then it closes and it grows again. He's got only 3 more laps here. He's got to find a way to get the nose down there.
He's trying to keep it close enough to make an opportunity. The place you do it's going into turn number 1. It's the best place to make a pass here at the Richmond Raceway. And if he gets close enough to that back bumper on the front stretch, he's going to have a shot. But he's only got 2 laps to go. 2 laps to do it here. And he's still about a 1/4 of a second behind this 40 machine of Alexander. He's really going to have to get to the back bumper here on this lap, and he can't do that. Got too close again and washed it up the racetrack. And he's really going to have to dive it in hard on this last lap if he's going to have any opportunity to win this race. White flag in the air for Alexander Rowe and Railfan Motorsports here at Richmond. And Aaron Abel, one last chance. He lost a lot of time on that lap. Will he be able to close in? The to be a lot harder to do it here because he's not going to have that front stretch to help him out here on this last lap, and he's still way too far behind to have any opportunity. Going to take Alexander Rowe slipping up the racetrack, and it's not going to happen. Wire to wire for Alexander Rowe here at the Richmond Raceway for his 5th win of the season. And it's going to be a 2-point gap in the E-Series standings going into Gateway on September 5th, Friday night. We'll be at that racetrack. I'll be after the Walmart Cup Series is done, so what a dominating performance out of Alexander Rowe. He had to earn that one, though. Aaron Abel was coming in fast and just couldn't quite get it. Anthony Hernandez will be 3rd. Campbell Marsh. Kyle Craven will be 4th. And in Campbell Marsh, Jack Haas, LJ Sameto, Ryose Fujimoto, Christian Vargas, and Andrew Williams all receiving championship points here today at the Richmond Raceway. But nobody got to Alexander Rowe. And this has been a very common sight this season here in the E-Series, hasn't it, Andrew? And, you know, even with all that, he is still not the points leader. He's going to have to be careful at Gateway next week because that's a combination race. He can end up qualifying deep in the field for that one. How do you think it's going to play out once we get to Gateway? Because you're going to have all the West Series guys back on the racetrack as well. It's definitely going to be a very interesting race once we get down to it in St. Louis.
Yeah, like you said, those combination races have not been Rowe's strong suit. Yeah, even with the 5 wins, he's just got to find a way to keep it consistent. Aaron Abel has got that consistency with him. Heck, he just finished 2nd tonight, bringing that average finish position down even more. But Alexander Rowe with the win. It's only 2 points between them. Yeah, Rowe's just gonna have to find a way to keep his composure with the higher car count. Something that was Chris Reynolds there, 2 laps down. But yeah, I mean the 2 best were going at it here tonight, and hopefully they'll be able to go at it going into Gateway. But again, that's if they don't get into it with any of the West guys. That is always going to throw a big wrench into things, as it has clearly shown.
Well, Alexander Rowe clearly has the pace to win this championship. Just can he beat Aaron Abel and then have a shot at it? That's the big question. And they're going after it too in the Sprint Series title as well, which is quite amazing. I'm not sure how last night's race went for the Sprint Series, but I tell you, it's probably going to be a pretty close one over there as well. Only they have no control over it in the ratings. These 2 guys clearly know what they're doing as drivers in this series. It's definitely been shown with Alexander Rowe, and we'll just have to see how this championship goes. Well, thank you guys so much for watching here tonight from Richmond Raceway. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Wawa Cup Series qualifying, and then Saturday at noon Eastern Time, Southern States 400 here from Richmond for the Wawa Cup Series. Only 4 races left to go until we crown a champion. Duncan Ward going to have a huge opportunity at really sealing this title if he has a good run on Saturday, has a good run at Daytona next Friday night, and you know, if he has a good run at Homestead, he could theoretically clinch a championship race early if things really go his way. But a lot can happen between now and the end of the season over there. It's going to be a lot of fun in the Wawa Cup Series. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here are the points for the LYTE Series East after 12 races, and on behalf of Andrew Miller, congratulations to Alexander Rowe, and I will see you guys later.